that athletic background. And we are going to be talking about women in particular, their self-image issues and some of the things that they go through. I speak to a lot of women on, you can say, on a weekly basis, and I'm aware of it. So having a woman come on and share is definitely going to be an eye-opener, and it's definitely going to be good for a lot of women who are listening. So Abigail, tell me, how did you get started in fitness?
Um, I got started in fitness after the death of my mom. Years ago, my mom passed away, and I remember sitting in the hospital with the doctor, and the doctor explaining to me how my mom's immune system worked and how the cancer affected her body. And right in that moment, I said, you know what? I am going to stop running track. I decided to quit running track. I decided to forget everything else and start actually understanding women body on a different level and understanding our body in terms of us being in the best version. So then I decided to get into fitness really seriously, and that's how I became certified.
Okay. You mentioned body image. What are some issues that women face when it comes to their body image? What are some issues that they face?
Some of the issues that women face, some might face postpartum depression because they might be saying, after they have a baby, they might not be looking the same way they were looking before. Some other issues that we might have is confidence issues. Sometimes it might be that it's something within and it's actually not something on the outside because somebody else might be looking and they find you look amazing. But to you, when you're looking at yourself, you're comparing yourself against what goes on in social media. So it might be that you feel like you're supposed to be having this BBW shape, or you might be feeling like your waist too big, or whether it be that you was obese as a young person, or whether you be obese as an older person. But a lot of the images always surround what we think healthy is or what we think sexy is. And a lot of the times women don't think that they are sexy.
Correct. Um, and you mentioned something, the comparison syndrome. So if anyone pulls up Instagram, you're going to see a lot of women who are in really, really good shape. And there's that comparison that women actually have when they compare themselves with these women who would have done so many different things to get to the level they're at in terms of how they look. Um, what would you say is something that women can do to actually feel more secure in themselves?
First, I would suggest all women start working on the inside. I mean, like start working on the healing of the inside, your healing of your mind. A lot of times we compare ourselves to people who have false imagery. So, it has this feeling of beauty falls into one standard, but beauty falls into many standards. And it's crazy because a lot of women, when you see, and it probably might be men as well, but you will see a lot of people and they are not actually looking like that in real life. Sometimes it's editing, heavy editing. Sometimes it's not even editing. Sometimes there are a lot of people who would have taken surgery to look like that. And also, people don't realize timelines. Sometimes you might be looking at someone and you're like, oh my goodness, this person's body looks great. But this person would have spent the last 10 years working on their body. So they probably came onto Instagram probably 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, and you see all these videos and these pictures from things that happened recently to you. But this person would have been on a long journey towards healthy. And sometimes, it's this it's a very sad thing to be in because even with myself, I would have gone through an image problem with myself after my last child. And last year I had a beautiful baby girl. She's half of a twin, right? So during my pregnancy, my hormones was all over the place and people don't understand that, right? And I remember gaining 67 pounds. You can imagine me, slim, fit. And I wouldn't have said slim, slim because I always like slim, thick, right? And, you know, always working on the body towards how I believe is healthy for me. And I remembered getting pregnant, because I did get pregnant before, and I lost that baby as well. And then when that baby died, I remember I had put on some weight, but I wasn't studying weight at that time because I knew my goal was to get pregnant. Then when I got pregnant the next time, which was when I had a baby last year, I remember people don't understand hormonal issues that women go through. We go through all sorts of hormonal issues, and this is not only hormonal issues towards pregnancy. It could be that you have PCOS, it could be that it's your period, it could be a whole list of things, right? And people don't understand that when you go through that and you don't have that healthy support around you, it makes it even worse. So for me, when I was pregnant last year and I gave birth to my daughter, I remember getting on the scale and gaining 67 pounds. In my mind, that was the craziest thing for me because you can imagine being fit your whole life and working towards fitness your whole life and being 67 pounds heavier. So I want people to understand that where you are at, you are not alone. So you have to make sure you get in community with people who have your answers, not people that have your problems.
Correct. And you know, you mentioned some things in terms of what people see on social media. A lot of things out there are not real. They're heavily edited. And I applaud the fitness people out there. So you see some of them, they have those before pictures when they look really good, and then they show an after picture when they don't have anything edited, and you know they post with a camera. We're not perfect people.
They post for the camera. And sometimes it's about us being vulnerable. And, you know, we are in a society now where we think vulnerability shows weakness. It actually doesn't. It's the exact opposite. It's strength. It's strength in you stepping into who you really are. So, you know, I want people to start working a lot on the internal. And while working on the internal, yes, you can work on the external as well.
Correct. And yes, woman, starting with the internal, you know, just being content where you are on the way to where you're going. To me, I think that point you raised, just starting where you are, being accept who you are internally first is the way to go. What's one thing, you know, yourself being a fitness coach as well as myself, we interact with many people, we have different conversations, and one of the things people say is they're not motivated, so they're not consistent with their workouts, they're not motivated to stay in fitness, to exercise. What motivates you to keep you going?
To be honest, I do not rely on motivation. I definitely don't, because if I relied on motivation, I would never work out ever, 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 ever. Um, I understand discipline. Discipline is something that we need, and let's be honest, most of us are not disciplined.
Correct.
We are not. Every day I work out, every day I say I'm quitting. Every day I say today is the last day I work out because my body is hurting. You can imagine me still on my journey to lose all this weight I would have gained. And, you know, even as a fitness coach, I'm working with the ladies and the gentlemen that I work with. It is hard for me as well. But being in community with people who definitely on the same journey as you or who have reached where you're trying to go makes it a lot easier. So I always tell people, instead of looking for motivation, get help. If you're not a fitness coach, if you're not into fitness like that, a lot of times the workouts you're going to do anyway is not suited to your body type. And it might not be suited to your goals. And a lot of times it causes people to quit. It causes people to quit when they're frustrated because they might be working out and they're not seeing the change. And a lot of times it's because you're not working out suited towards your body type. So I always tell people, forget motivation.
Correct.
Motivation will get you started, but you have to become disciplined in order to really reach and acquire those goals.
Correct. Discipline you mentioned is key. I see someone saying they're not disciplined. We're just wrapping up here. What's one thing you would like to leave with everyone listening? And you could talk about your training program, where people could find you if they need to reach out to you for training.
If someone wants to reach out to me, they could always reach out to me at Abigail David Holistic Health. They could also reach out to me. My number is 2246, as well as I want people to understand that you are an amazing person. Yes, I understand that you probably might be going through something, but in order to get where you're trying to get to, you see the neighbor syndrome where we just go and ask our neighbor for everything. We always going to ask our neighbor or Dr. Google all these questions that you're actually supposed to go to the professional in that area to ask them. Please seek out assistance, get into community with people who have your answers, the real answers, not a made up answer, not a I think you should, or I believe this is so, but somebody who could help you really pinpoint what the issue is and you really work towards it. My program is built on helping a person first work on their mindset. Mindset, I'm talking about spirituality, your mental aspect, everything towards your health and towards healing from the inside out. Because if you don't heal from the inside, your body could be looking exactly how you want it, but you'll always see yourself how you were before. So I always work on making sure you see yourself for who you truly are.
Correct. Abigail, thank you once again for this sitting down and chatting with me, about women, um, body issues, self-image, So for the listening audience, if you want to reach out, you can reach out to either Abigail or myself if you want to chat a little more. But either way, everyone have a good evening.
Have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye.